Greetings, boys and girls. In today's video, we are going to be comparing and ordering numbers to the hundred thousands. You got that right, comparing and ordering numbers to the hundred thousands. Well, one thing to keep in mind is when we get ready to compare numbers, there are actually three methods we can use. The first thing we can use is a number line. We can see which number would be on the left of that number line and which one would be farther to the right. Well, if it's farther to the right, that tells us that would be the larger number. We can also stack the numbers up, and we can place each number on top of each other, making sure to line up the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, and so forth. And then we can see which one is larger that way. And the third way is that we can look at the largest place values of the numbers. So we may have one number that just goes to the thousands place, whereas the other number may go to the 10,000s place. And we can already realize that a number with a digit in the 10,000s place has to be larger with a number whose largest place value is only the thousands place. Well, there are those three methods we can use to compare numbers, but today in this video we are going to focus on stacking the numbers up to actually compare them. Alright, so let's get into our first problem. In our first problem, it says King's Dominion, which is a theme park, had 354,827 visitors in July 2012 and 356,021 visitors in July of 2013. In which year did King's Dominion have more visitors? Well, what I want to do is actually just write the digits in my boxes. So I'm going to first start with 2012, July of 2012. There were 354,827. So I'm going to simply put the digits in the first row. Start with my ones place. There's a 7, a 2 in the tens place, an 8 in the hundreds place, 4 in the thousands place, 5 in the 10,000s place, 3 in the 100,000s place. Now underneath it, it's telling me to write the value of each of those digits. Now I'm going to tell you, for the purpose of comparing numbers, you may or may not want to put the value of the digits. But because we're trying to be in the practice of understanding what these place values mean, we're going to go ahead and fill in this field. So when I'm looking at a 7 in the ones place, it's just worth 7. A 2 in the tens place would be worth 20. An 8 in the hundreds place would be worth 800. A 4 in the thousands place, 4,000. A 5 in the 10,000s place, 50,000. And then a 3 in the 100,000s place is going to be worth 300,000. Alright, so I'm still comparing these numbers. Now I'm going to go ahead and build my second number. And that is my July 2013 visitors. There were 356,021. So I'm going to start building out the digits in the top row. So I have 1 in the ones place, 2 in the tens place, similar to the last one. A 0 in the hundreds place, then a 6 in the thousands place, a 5 in the 10,000s place, and a 3 in the 100,000s place. Now, just like before, I can go ahead and take a moment and put the values of each of those digits as well. So hold on a moment and I'm going to put those in. So when I'm looking at the actual values of each digit, a 1 in the ones place is worth 1. A 2 in the tens place is still worth 20. There's nothing in the hundreds place, so it's worth 0. In the thousands place, I have a 6, so that's worth 6,000. In the 10,000s place, I have another 5, so that's worth 50,000. And then in the 100,000s place, I have a 3, so that's worth 300,000. So now I'm ready to actually compare these numbers, compare the values. So I always want to start in my largest place value. I want to start in my largest place value and I want to see, is either one of these numbers larger than the other? If I start on the right, that's starting with a smaller place value. I don't really care if my ones digit is larger than my than the other ones digit, because that's the smallest place value. I want to look at the largest part and see where the differences lie. So here I have a 3 and a 3. Well, they're the same, so I'm going to go to the next largest place value. And now I'm in the 10,000ths place, and I have a 5 and a 5. Yet again, they're equal. So that's not really helping me. So I'm going to go to the next largest place value, which is the thousands place. And finally, there's a difference. I have a 4 on the top number and a 6 below. So that 6 is going to be the largest number. Therefore, 356,021 is going to be larger than 354,827. So therefore, when they're asking, in which year did King's Dominion have more visitors? I'm going to say in the year 2013. And I know that because, look, the 6 represents 2,000 more than the 4 in the thousands place. Okay? So it wasn't quite 2,000 more people that came, but it was definitely well over 1,000 more people that came. All right, I'm going to give you a moment to get that down. But if you need to, you can always pause the video. All right, we're going to move on to the next problem. Again, if you need to, press pause on this video. In the next problem, it says, during the contest, Tayshawn scored 58,290 points, and Eddie scored 59,025 points. Who scored the highest? Now, this is one when I'm just given some blanks. So when it says digits, I'm going to put a T for Tayshawn, and the value is going to be Tayshawn's number value. And then I'm going to put an E underneath it for Eddie's points. Okay? So Tayshawn scored 58,290 points. I'm going to start building this number starting in the ones place. There's a 0 in the ones place, a 9 in the tens place, a 2 in the hundreds place, an 8 in the thousands place, and a 5 in the 10,000s place. When I look at Eddie, he scored 59,025. So again, I'm going to start building it in the ones place. There's a 5. There's a 2 in the tens place, a 0 in the hundreds place, a 9 in the thousands place, and a 5 in the 10,000s place. Now I'm going to go back and put the values of each of those digits. Feel free to also. So you can see I've now placed the value of each of the digits on here. So for Tayshawn's score, a 0 in the ones was 0. 9 in the tens was worth 90. So when it's saying the value, we're saying how much is it worth. The 2 in the hundreds place is worth 200. The 8 in the thousands place is worth 8,000. The 5 in the 10,000s place is worth 50,000. And you can see the same thing underneath what I did for Eddie's scores. Now when I get ready to compare these values, I'm trying to figure out who scored the most points or who had the highest score. So just like I did in the last problem, I want to start with my largest place value. So the largest place value I have is the 10,000s place. And so I look and I have a digit of a 5 for Tayshawn and a digit of a 5 for Eddie. These both have the same value. They're both 50,000, so I can't say one is larger just looking at that place value. So I'm going to go down to the next largest place value, which is the thousands. Okay, I'm moving on because I had the same number in the 10,000s place. So now I have 8,000 for Tayshawn versus 9,000 for Eddie. Okay, an 8 versus a 9. So the 9 is going to be larger, therefore Eddie scored the highest. So I can write Eddie scored highest. And you can see that with this place value chart. I'm going to give you a moment to get that jotted down. Alright, if you need more time, feel free to press pause on the video. So we're now looking at number 3. Jason got the highest score on Guitar Hero. He scored 35,297 points, and we're asked to write his score in 2 other ways. So just like we've been doing before, we have the digits and then the value of the digits. So I'm going to first put my digits on here. I always like to start in my ones place so that I make sure that I account for each number. So there's 35,297. So how much is a 7 in the ones place? It's just worth 7. A 9 in the tens place is worth 90. A 2 in the hundreds place is worth 200. A 5 in the thousands place is worth 5,000. And then a 3 in the 10,000s place is worth 30,000. Now they asked us to write his score 2 other ways. The first way they give us is standard form. Well, I know I can also do expanded form or expanded notation. So when I do that, I actually take the value of the digits, which is this row, and I separate them by the plus signs. So now I'm going to write 30,000 plus 5,000 plus 200 plus 90 plus 7. That's what expanded notation is. It's when you simply separate the value of each digit and combine them using the plus sign. Okay? Well, since I have standard form up top, I just wrote my expanded form or expanded notation. The only other form I have is word form. Okay? Now, I'm not going to attempt to write that with my stylus. I'm going to go ahead and type it. But when I get ready to do the word form, I'm simply just going to write the words out for what I see. And I read the number as 35. When I get to that comma, I say 1,000, and then I read the 297. So combined, it would be 35,297. Okay, I'm going to take a moment and type that in. All right, so 35,297. All right, I'm going to give you a moment to get that down. So let's look at a couple of these questions that they ask down here. What is the value of the 5? Ooh, you see how I just moved the whole thing? They're asking us, what is the value of the 5 in this number? So the 5, it's right here in the thousands place, and I can tell from my chart the value of it is 5,000. Then it asks me, what place is the 9 in? And I can look right up at my chart, and I see my 9. It's right there in the tens place. Which digit has the smallest value in this number? Well, even looking at the values of the digits, I have 30,000, 5,297. If we were talking about dollars, which amount would I not want? Probably the $7. If I can get 30,000 instead of 7, I'm going for it. So 7 would be the smallest value. And then what number would you have if you added 2 more hundreds? So I'm looking. Right now there's 2 hundreds, which is a total of 200. But if I added 2 more to that, I would have a 4 in the hundreds place. I'd still have a 9 in the tens place and a 7 in the ones. My thousands place would still be a 5, and my 10,000s would still be a 3. So I'd have 35,497. I hope that made sense. Alright, if you still need some time, pause the video. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the last section. So they tell us to order these numbers from least to greatest. And some students are going to look at this and say, I don't need all these lines, Miss Payne. Why did they give me all of these lines? Well, it's so that you can write the value of each digit underneath them. But I'm going to simply write the numbers right now. I'm building my first number, 45,900. I'm going to build my second number, 42,900. Ooh, erase. And then my last number is 45,090. So I'm going to build that. Okay, so if I were putting the values of each of these digits, 0, 0, there's 900 here, there's 5,000 here, and there's 40,000 here. Make that look like a comma, not a period. Okay, so for 42,900, if I was putting the value of each of those digits, it'd be 0, 0, 900. Ooh, this is looking the same thus far. Ooh, here's the difference, 2,000, and then I'd have 40,000. And then finally, for my last number, 45,090, if I'm putting the value, that's 0, the 9 is 90, 0 for that 0, the 5 is worth 5,000, and the 4 is worth 40,000. Okay, now that I have the values listed out, I'm going to start with my largest place value, and I'm going to see, is there anything that's larger or smaller? Well, I have a 40,000, 40,000, 40,000. They're the same value. A 4 in this place value, it's the same. So I'm going to go to the next place value. Okay, immediately I notice that this 2 is smaller and the 5s are larger. So if I'm ordering from least to greatest to least, I can read. If I'm ordering from greatest to least, I already know my least number is going to be this 2. That's going to be the smallest number. So I'm going to already list that last. So this number that had a 2 in the thousands place is 42,900. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm crossing this one out because I've already established that that is the smallest number. And I don't want to keep looking at the rest of the place values for that because that's already the smallest. We're establishing that's the smallest, okay? And I've already listed it as my third, as the least number. I have a 5 and a 5 in my thousands place. So I'm now going to go to the next smallest place value, which is the hundreds place. And look, I have a 9 up top and a 0. I don't care about this one that I just crossed out because that's already the smallest number. Now I'm looking at this 9 in the top number. That 9 is larger than the 0. Therefore, the largest number would be 45,900, and the number in the middle is going to be 45,090. Okay? I use that one that's already the largest, and this leaves that one to be in the middle. I hope that made sense, boys and girls. Press pause if you need some time to get caught up. Now I'm going to do the recap. Now, there are 3 ways that in 4th grade we're going to be comparing numbers. One is using a number line. The second way is stacking up numbers. And the third is going to be looking at the largest place values. In this video, we focused on the second approach. We stacked the numbers up using the place value chart that was on our paper, and that is how we compared numbers. I hope that this video made sense, and I hope that it was a great preview for what we will do in class. Take care. Until we meet again. Bye.